softly queen, shine.
Hey guys. Who is here? Mintaka, stop watching Shameless. It's not good for you. Cal Brown, Big Boss the Best, who I never remember who it is, but it looks like Bowers. Chaudhry's here. Lily Carell's there. Garofalo is there. Colin Avery is right there. Shaw, good afternoon. Smith, we got, yeah, you like my hair? It was horrible, man. Hoteling's there. Yeah, I am bald. Yes, that is. Why did I shave? Okay, well, it's Casey Marr. Hey, Morgan Hale, Hoteling. Baldy's basic, thanks. So I needed a haircut, and so I decided to cut it reasonably short. Okay. And I did, but it's very hard to do around the ears. So I asked my wife to do around my ears. And the 2 seconds into her buzzing around my ears, she went, oop, which is not the reaction you want to hear from someone cutting your hair. So she left this like big shaved gap right around, like I look like a LA Rams helmet. Anyway, I had to go all the way short. So that's just what's going to happen. But at least I don't have to get a haircut for a while. Hope you know. Well, Mitaka, I thought you shaved your head. I was just trying to match you. My sister likes your head. Oh, great. Yeah. See, this is not what I'm used to, but at least there's no bald. I'm 36. At least there's no bald spots. If we go back to school, we will bully you. Great. It'll almost, well, hopefully it's sooner than later, man. Graham Hoppy. Hey, buddy. I mean, despite the people still dying in New York every single day, Governor Cuomo seems to be pretty hopeful that things are looking up. So, who knows how long this is going to go for. Yeah, it does not look horrible. It doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look great either. Clearly, I like having more hair, but it was a reasonable length, and there was a horrible mistake that prompted me to be bald like this. You low key look Amish. Amish people, do they cut their hair? I don't know anything about that, but I kept the beard, so I had to have something going on. Anyway, cool. So I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you had a good weekend. For those of you that celebrate Easter. I hope you guys had a happy Easter. And I hope you had a pretty good weekend. So we're doing ancient China today. So hopefully you got a chance to look at the slideshow. I posted a video. I'm probably going to mispronounce a bunch of other names, Justin, so it's okay. Finished in 10 seasons of Shameless. My wife watches that show, Muntaki. You should not be watching that show. It's too much. All right, cool. So ancient China, section 2. China is the oldest continuous, let me move my computer, oldest continuous civilization in history. All right. A lot of people, and China's produced a lot of big things. Okay. A lot of ridiculously intricate, complicated things throughout the history. Probably the coolest thing is the terracotta warriors. And so the terracotta warriors are still in existence. You can still go see them. There's a museum that's built around them now. And basically this guy in 1974 was digging a well in his farm and came across like a soldier's head, like a clay head. And he kept digging and revealed more and more and more of the body. And when he finally alerted the government and a bunch of archaeologists, they had uncovered close to 8,000 life-size statues made out of clay. Okay. The really cool thing about this is that the terracotta army, all of them were completely unique. So it's 8,000 figures, horses, chariots, people. All of them had different haircuts, different facial features, different heights. And so this is kind of a great example of the things that China produces. They're very well organized. A lot of people are like basically thrown at a task. And so they look really cool. And the video I think that I posted along on Google Classroom does a nice job of showing it. Okay. It's cursed. I didn't know that. Terracotta army, Emperor Qin, who's China is basically named after. This was his creation, and what he believed is that these warriors would protect him in the afterlife. Okay, workers were buried with the emperor. That's true as well. Yeah, well, wait, we'll get to the talk about buried alive when we talk about the Great Wall of China that comes into play too. So this is a really good example of just the really intricate, overly complicated things that the Chinese civilization did over the years. So what Emperor Qin believed was that these armies would come to life and protect after he passed away and protect him in the afterlife, which is kind of cool. So it's just, I always thought that this was an interesting way to start. If you haven't already, go watch the video I posted from YouTube, or watch really any other video on the terracotta army. Really cool, intricate stuff. Ancient China can be traced back through things called dynasties. And a dynasty is basically a line of rulers from the same family. So when they say the Qin dynasty or the Ming dynasty or the Han dynasty, it's just one family controlling. Okay. If you guys watch that History of the Earth video, that like 20-minute animated History of the Earth, they highlight China breaking apart and coming back together again, coming back together, then breaking apart and coming back together. And every time there was a war, maybe a new family would take over. So this is a monarchy, but in China, a monarchy is called a dynasty. A dynasty is just a line of one family. To put it in the sports terms, a dynasty would be if, the Yankees or the Red Sox or something kept winning championships over and over and over again. It's power held by one family. Emperor Qin ruled over a period of years and basically ruled over the area that makes up modern day China. Okay, this is him right here. This is, let me see. Let me see what you guys are saying. Nothing. You want to look at the guy in the picture. Cool. The Joseph dynasty. So different dynasties so this is 7,000 years of history, okay? And depending on where you land on those 7,000 years, you will get different accomplishments and from different dynasties and different families. The Qin dynasty really did a lot of clutch things in ancient China. First, they moved to protect people from the Mongolian nomads that live north of China. And so the Qin dynasty was the chief dynasty in building the Great Wall of China. So from my last video and from our last lesson, you learned that China is isolated by the Himalayan mountains, the Gobi Desert, the East China Sea, and they were vulnerable to the north. What the Qin dynasty did is they built the Great Wall of China, or at least started the Great Wall of China to protect China from the north as well. Okay. So it took, how I started this, the Great Wall of China took in between 300,000 and 500,000 workers to build. So China was very good at organizing people, and they were good at organizing labor to do gigantic projects. The Terracotta Army, very big project, a lot of things going on with it. Same thing with the Great Wall of China. It's bad hairline, so don't even. You told me, Mr. C had a bad. I don't have a bad hairline. Stop talking about Shameless. It's enough for now. Please don't do that. Anyway, so Qin dynasty, famous for at least starting building the Great Wall of China. The emperor also built new roads, or ordered farmers to build new roads. You know that from the ancient Rome unit. Roads are huge economically. Okay. You need roads for trade and travel and movement of troops. So without a good system of roads, there's really not a good system of trade in the country. And also the roads prevented, they can move troops easily. Also, Emperor Qin tried to unify the culture. Unifying a culture means making everything in the government the same. Okay, so one of the ways to unify a culture is with currency, with money, making it so no matter where you went in the civilization, the money was the same. Imagine how difficult it would be if, traveling from state to state, you'd have to change your money over. Okay, or maybe you guys have traveled to different countries before and you had to change your money from, US currency to the euro or something. Unifying the culture means that in China, they had one currency and it was valuable no matter where a person went in the civilization. Okay. This is an example of a Chinese coin. They have the hole in the middle of it. And that was simply because pockets didn't necessarily exist. And people would put the coin around their neck or on a string. And that's how you would carry the coin around. But a unified currency is one way that Emperor Qin kept control of his civilization, but also unified the civilization. He also set out a system of weights and measures. Weights and measures is basically how we measure and weigh things. We have the imperial system. Is it imperial system in the United States? So the metric system everywhere else on the planet is hard to understand. If you guys have ever had to go from imperial to metric or metric to imperial, it's very difficult. Okay. So unifying the culture means that no matter where you went, a pound was a pound, an inch was an inch, an ounce was an ounce. It made trade simpler. Okay. Imagine if you went to another town or another city and their pound weighed more or weighed less than yours. It would make everything horribly complicated. So Emperor Qin created a system of weights and measures that was consistent everywhere. So money, weights and measures, and also a system of laws. Okay. the United States is not the best example of this because different laws apply to different states, but there are federal laws, there are governmental laws that no matter where you go in the country, the law still applies. Okay. So the United States is not the best example of that, but just imagine how confusing it would be if you lived in China, you were traveling within China, and in one spot, the laws were different than another. So Emperor Qin really worked to unify the culture, unify the civilization. So the rules applied to everyone, the laws applied to everyone, same currency, same trade, same weights and measures, and I missed this, and system of writing too. So no matter where you went in China, you could communicate, trade, and deal with anybody very, very, very easily. It would be incredibly difficult to run a country or to interact or trade if no matter where you went, everything was completely different. What are we doing here? Justin is sharing some dynasties names. So Shang, Zhao, Qin, Han, those are all different families. That's the family name. Okay, so it would be like the Campagna dynasty or something. Okay. So Emperor Qin really worked to unify the culture. All right. There's going to be on the quiz that you guys are going to take later on in the week. Take a look at that. Other people, Han Dynasty. So same style of government, still a monarchy, different family took control. So when a different family took over, it's usually because of a war or some sort of conflict. Liu Bang overthrew the Qin dynasty. His main accomplishments were setting up a system of civil service. Okay, that's the key thing. That's something that China used very well. Civil service is when ordinary people work for the government. Okay, and that makes a lot of the huge undertakings that China did very, it makes them a lot easier to do. Okay, civil service is instead of the government controlling everything, they kind of delegate to everyone else. If someone's parents are a police officer or mailman, they're technically a civil servant. They work for the government pays them, but they're not, they're basically the government's paying them to do work of the government. Okay. So this is something in China that once put into place made the work of the government very easy to do because they could just pay someone to do the work for them. Has a nice face and eyebrow. Yeah, it's very interesting here. Where did the bunny come from? Cool. In Easter, Jesus was resurrected, but where did the bunny? I have no idea where the Easter bunny come from. You guys keep asking me that. I don't know. Just eat the chocolate eggs and just be done with it. Okay. I mean, I don't know. So civil service is kind of important in America. If you want to get a government type job after high school or after college or whatever you decide, there's a civil service test that you take. And it's basically like a standardized test to prove that you are capable of doing a job for the government. My cousin Jim, who's a postal worker, he's a mailman. He took the civil service test when he was 18. Okay. The post office is a government organization. The government doesn't fully run it, but they pay ordinary citizens to do the work for them. And without the post office, it would be very difficult to deal with. We couldn't really run the country. Zoe comes in. Did you Google that, Zoe? Because of the bunny's high reproduction rate and spring symbolized new life and rebirth. It's rude that you pronounced it. It's not like I'm intentionally doing it wrong. Wudi is another emperor. He was ruled during the Han dynasty. So he was part of the Han family. This person's accomplishments was basically expanding the Chinese empire. He conquered lands in Vietnam, Korea, Central Asia, improved the Great Wall, and strengthened the military. So this is just a snapshot of some key leaders in ancient China and their accomplishments. The most important slide is also the slide with the most information on there. the interesting thing about China is that no matter, it's a large area of land. Geographically, it's very different, and there's a lot of people. Okay. Even now, China has the most people out of any country. They have 1.4 billion. Okay. But regardless of all of those factors, their civilization was very unified and very organized. So from the civil service jobs that the government paid common people to do, to the same currency, the same weights and measures, the same system of laws, the same writing, the Roman Empire could not say any of that was true. Maybe they had the same system of currency, but there's a lot of different cultures living within the Roman Empire. In the Chinese Empire and the Chinese history, they really unified everyone despite where they lived, how they lived, or what they did. So that's a pretty remarkable thing. So it's because of this they were able to do some huge jobs, like build the Great Wall of China, and going back to my first slide here, to create the terracotta army. Is a lot of very fine, intricate stuff to do. So China has a lot of really crazy, difficult accomplishments for the time, but their organization and their strong government and their unified government really made those undertakings easier to deal with. What do we got here? India will beat them in a few years in population. That might be true. I don't know how many India has. India's over 1 billion as well. The one thing about India too is that it's the world's biggest democracy. Also, it's kind of interesting given the current circumstances with like the lockdown. To like the government in India locked down 1 billion people, which is just unbelievable to think about. Is the quiz, everything is open book, Bridget, until her question is the quiz still open book? Everything is. If you really want to challenge yourself and do the whole memory thing, up to you. But this is more you guys going back and just, reviewing the information and still kind of practicing taking a quiz. But yeah, everything is open book. The one thing I want to say about that is it seems that you guys are getting a lot better at taking those open book tests or quizzes. Remember, they take longer. So if you see a question you're not quite sure of, in class, you might guess and say, it's either 1 or 2. Now you have the opportunity to pause, go to another slide, do a little research, come back and pick the perfect answer. So that process is going to take you a little bit longer. Okay. So until I see you guys again in person, every quiz that I give out is going to be open book. Okay. So do yourself a favor and do your research. I think most of the people got 10 out of 10, on the quiz. Anything else? Why don't we have like 5 class? It's harder when we don't have like 5 classes on one topic. It's harder when we don't have like 5 classes on. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm doing that, Bridget. I mean, it's, you guys can't really ask questions in person. I can't clarify stuff. So that's why I'm giving everything to you. We're making our best here. Schools are closed full time. All right, let's, I don't know. You guys, I love how even in digitally, you guys get me off track. India is killing Muslims. You give me a source on that. I'm not saying that it's not happening. I want to know what you're talking about specifically. 1.3 billion versus 1.4 billion. So India might surpass China with the population, Justin. So thanks for looking at that. Maybe, I don't know. Is India's land wise might be smaller. It's harder when we do. My mom said New York City schools are closed full time. You mean till the end of the year? Yeah, the mayor of the city closed New York City schools, but the governor doesn't agree with him on that. So you can't really go by New York City as a standard of what's going to happen up here, because our life versus New York City is completely different. Okay. So New York City is the epicenter of this disease and this problem, this virus. Up here, it's not. I mean, we still have cases, but it's not the case. So I don't know what's going to happen yet. You guys are closed until the end of April, and that's all that I know. Is you guys find out things the same way I find things out. A bunch of people don't still. A bunch of COVID. A bunch of people don't care. Yeah, people are not taking it seriously, and the disappointing thing is that, like, we need everybody to, pull in the same direction. If we have big gatherings and stuff, it's going to set everybody back. But never got published. None of these clove. I don't know what that is. I've got a feeling we'll be going back. I don't know why. I hope so. But look, I've said this every stream that I've done, and even the last time I saw you guys in person in March, I said it's my sincere hope that I get to do the class in person with you guys again. And I want to do it, but we need to do it safely. I don't, if everybody's freaked out to go back in public again, we need to know that we're safe. And so I trust that the government in New York State is going to do what's right by us. I think we could go back, but we won't do any fun stuff. What is that supposed to mean? Like field trip. Oh, I see. Like field trips. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know what's going to happen with the field trip. Yeah, I think that we're going to have to see what goes on. Now you can remember our grade for. I would remember you guys anyway, but this is a very ridiculous circumstance. Will we still do fun stuff at the end of the last month of school? I hope so, man. I hope that we get to do if school is in session, everybody's together already. I can't imagine that the fun activities would be canceled, but as far as the field trip, we also have to realize okay, is Uncle Sam boat tours going to be up and running by that point? Is there's a lot of things to think about. It's not just school. No more Google Meets, please. Yeah, do more. I can't manage those, Allie. It's too difficult for me to manage, so I don't really want to do those. Mr. Ross said we could go do the fun things in the fall, but I don't know how that would work. I would have no idea either. I mean, your guess is as good as mine as to what is going to happen. They raised all that money for the field trip. I would be like, I don't know. They got to figure out to do something with it. I might get let's say, Zoe, let's say that's true for a second. You guys would get your field trip, but you might be seventh graders, and we'll all do it on a weekend or something. There's a million different options, and there's a lot of people working very hard to make sure that the field trip is special and you guys are treated the right way. And so everybody's working to make sure that everything is as best as it possibly could be for you. I put all my time into that stupid money for the field trip, I'm guessing. Yeah, you guys, you're still going to get something. It's not like that money is going away and that time was wasted. Don't think like that. Everybody wants to do cool stuff for you guys because you guys are a great group of kids. So, don't worry. We have been waiting for Mintaka. She said we've been waiting for kindergarten since. Yeah, I know what you mean. So look, the health and safety of everybody is the most important thing. All right. He didn't. Anyway, look, I just trust that the people doing the field, trust that the people doing the field trip are going to work hard to make it right by you guys. Okay. Or make the right decision. If we, Mr. Roth said, if we could do this fun stuff in the fall, I would gladly take a weekend in the fall and hang out with all you guys. All right. But we're when we left school a month ago, we're at step 1 of 1,000. Maybe right now we're at step 500 of 1,000. So we just got to see what's going to happen. Will the money go into next year? I don't see how that's fair. You guys raised that money for your thing. So I don't see how that's fair, but look, I don't have any control over that at all. I don't think that would happen. Don't get camera started about that. Well, shaved the head, left the beard. Yeah, I did. Yeah. What are you going to do? I don't shave all the way down. Okay, so I can see where this is going. Anyway, look. What have I got going on? Oh, tomorrow, the questions for this slideshow are due. Please answer the questions in red because it's super hard for me to read otherwise. And Wednesday night or Thursday, I don't know, probably Wednesday night, I will post a quiz for you guys to do. And like I was just saying earlier, it's open book and take the time to research everything. Let me answer some questions and I'm going to have some dinner. I'm hungry. Do I film on my phone? No, I have a second computer. Yeah, me and some people did not put any effort into it. I don't know what you're talking about. I still have to do the math stuff in science. Cooper's on. Okay. Anyway, as always, good to see you guys. Talking in person does not, that's much better than what we're doing here. But at least I'm getting to communicate with you guys, and that's what's important. Questions due tomorrow. I'll put the quiz up tomorrow morning for you guys, so you could get that out of the way, and you can focus on other stuff the rest of the week. I'll do another live stream on Thursday. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, stay engaged, stay active in a safe way. And it is my sincere hope that we get to do this in person soon. Okay. So until then, enjoy the rest of your night. I will see you guys later. Stay bald. I'm going to try not to, man. I get it. It was just a horrible mistake. My wife went oop with the razor, and oop is not the word that you want to hear or the sound you want to hear when someone's cutting your hair. Anyway, see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Hope to see everybody soon.